Hello everybody and welcome back for the second episode of Swirl U's RWBY Q&A. Thank you all for joining me. Just a quick little disclaimer, everything here is just my opinion, nothing's official. I just kind of pull these answers in from lore of the different stories that RWBY itself pulls from, and a bit of the writing patterns that we've seen from the writers in previous seasons. Okay, right into the first question. Malinger asks, what are your top 5 weapons and why? Well, number 5, Jean Arc's Crocea Mors. I'm gonna butcher some of these names, I'm sorry yet again. There are many weapons more detailed and maybe more cool looking than Jean's simple sword and shield, but the classics will always hold a place on this list for me. If you've ever played Legend of Zelda or Dark Souls, you will know just how trustworthy simple sword and board can be. I personally actually haven't played much Dark Souls. I really suck at it. I've only played a little bit of 2, but from what I've heard, sword and board's probably one of the most popular setups for Dark Souls. Not to mention that his sword is actually named after Julius Caesar's sword that ended up getting a new owner, that of an English prince, when it got stuck in his shield when Caesar tried stabbing him. It was also said that that sword killed anything he cut. Number 4, Junior's Bazooka Bat. Again, nothing works quite like the basics. Gotta defend your home, or your store, or your club from somebody trashing the place? A baseball bat is the common home defense weapon of choice. A well-aimed swing will get the message across that they messed with the wrong person. Need to get an even bigger message across? How about some freaking homing missiles to help? Number 3, Yang's Ember Cecilia. Now, I'm not much of a kickboxing fan myself. If ever put into a situation where I'd need to defend myself from a group or anything, I'd be the very first guy to grab like a rusty pipe off the ground or a crowbar. So Ember Cecilia is like first form of like sort of fighting gauntlet. It's kind of off the table for me, but oh, that alt fire. Oh boy, do I love me some sawed-off shotguns. From the good old days of Doom 2 to even today's iteration of Doom, there is nothing I could imagine as being more satisfying than mowing down a horde of demons, or Grim for that matter, with a good pump action shotgun. Number 2, RWBY's Crescent Rose. Now, this weapon is purely here just for how cool it looks in the show's choreographed fight scenes and in the game. Personally, I would just probably end up cutting my own head open with this damn thing. It's so incredibly impractical. But watching this weapon in action is something that I can only compare to Olympic level rhythmic gymnastics. Even in the game, Grim Eclipse, I find myself using it just because it looks the coolest, and also I kind of find it has the furthest reach while in melee mode. While I'm also not that much a fan of sniper rifles, I'm always the guy that's gonna pick like a submachine gun or something like that when playing like Call of Duty or whatnot. Its ability to go from close combat to extreme distance is something still to be admired. Number 1, Nora Valkyrie's Mangild. Again, butchering names, I hope I got that one right. This one is mainly here for 2 reasons. In its hammer mode, Nora can one-shot many an enemy when she's been powered up. It's very close to a weapon that I would use as like an original character, but it would be more like for anyone that plays Overwatch, a lot like Reinhardt's Rocket Hammer from that game. Secondly, the grenade launcher function is another weapon, going back to video games, that I've been using since 2007 for Team Fortress 2, and is now one of my most used weapons in Overwatch as Junkrat. Reinhardt and Junkrat are probably the 2 main characters I play, so you can maybe kind of see where I picked this as number 1. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but like really, when it comes to the grenade launcher, like aiming is not the key. Not direct aiming like a sniper or a person with like an AK-47 or whatever. It's more of simple geometry will win you the match. You gotta turn around the corner, bounce some grenades off the side of a nearby car, and the turret, you don't even have to look at it. It's gone. Well, those are my top 5 weapons. Again, just my personal opinion. Now for a quick second question. Banjo-Kazooie, what do you think Jean's semblance is going to be, and how in your day? I'm guessing, like, how is my day? Sorry, I don't know. Okay, so Jean's semblance. I actually think, even though I said before that the sword has been noted to be like a one-hit kill sort of weapon, I don't think that's going to be part of Jean's semblance. I personally think Jean's semblance is going to be defense-based. I think that his aura is almost his semblance. It's going to be an extendable aura-based shield. And my thoughts, my logic for getting to that is that he's going to come to the realization that he couldn't protect Pyrrha. And so, in the next season, when him and Team Ranger are out and about trying to get to where they're trying to get, the team is going to get in danger. And my prediction is he's going to have some sort of flashback, remembering his inability to protect the one that he loved the most. And this will trigger something inside of him, and he's going to dive in front of an attack, activating his semblance, which will be in the form of a projectable aura shield. At first, I think it might just be something that will form from his original shield, and that's going to be his very basic semblance. He will sort of push his aura into the shield, and it will extend from that shield. But I think eventually, when he learns to fine-tune his semblance and become even stronger, he's not even going to need that. He's going to be bloody, like Magneto style. Like, I think he'll be able to form bubbles around people and project it at large distances, maybe even going a telekinetic route where he could form a bubble around an enemy, throw them up the air, and let it go, and they will just plummet to their doom. Or again, mostly at first for defensive, if he ever gets to that point. Again, this is way out there. I'm wearing my tinfoil hat right now. Somebody's in trouble, he'll be able to bubble them, protect them, maybe even do multiple people at a time, but he's gonna have to work up to that. So the very first form, shield plus aura protection. He's going to be able to extend his aura through the shield, so maybe even a cone in front of him that would protect like a whole group of people. But eventually it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until he's able to throw those protection bubbles away from himself and control them to a point. Okay, well, thank you for joining me for a second video of RWBY Q&A. For everyone who hasn't had their questions answered, I'm going to be doing more of these, so feel free to keep asking questions, but I'm going to keep picking from the questions that were in the last video, because there were a lot of good questions that I still want to hit up there that I will get to very soon. And until then, good night, everybody!